Okay, is everybody here? I hope everybody's having a good time. You have your lunch already and you have your classes? Okay, good. My name is Arianti Puswakusumo. I'm the Internationalization and Partnership Program Coordinator of Faculty of Economics and Communications. I welcome you all today. Okay. Now, I'd like to introduce a very special person. He's a professor from Holland. Everybody knows where is it? From which university? No? Okay. He's from Arnhem and Nijmegen, Hogeschool Arnhem and Nijmegen University in the Netherlands. And please welcome, let's put a big applause to Professor. Yes. His name is Professor Matthieu van den Bosch.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then I would like to do a small quiz. Where do you think is the Netherlands? Belanda. Here? 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 Yes. In the middle of Europe. But if you move the map a little bit, then it will be east or west. But let's say here in the middle. So it's a very small country with 60 million people. And we have many neighbors, like Germany, Belgium, and here our neighbor, England. And if you think about Belanda, you may think about maybe a couple of things. And we call them stereotypes. And if you think about Belanda, what do you think of? Tulips? Yeah? Windmills? A lot of people, they think that we walk on wooden shoes. Over here. Yeah? Clumps. And here you can see that a lot of wooden shoes are still for sale, but that's for the tourists. So maybe for the people from Indonesia. So klompen, maybe for 100 years ago, they were very popular as shoes. And this man, as a Dutchman, has traditional clothes, because you can see it over here. But some of you maybe mentioned windmills. And these days, some of the windmills are still in use. But now we have also these very modern windmills. And they give a lot of energy. Yeah? And it will also be future planned. But of the whole energy production in the Netherlands, only less than 3% comes from windmills. So we need gas and oil. And some of you mentioned cheese. Maybe from Gouda cheese, or Leerdam. So very often, each country may have a couple of stereotypes. If we see our country, which is maybe from here to the south, only 340 or 50 kilometers. So that's not big, huh? And from here to the German border, only 150 kilometers. So maybe in one day you can travel. But most people, they arrive here at Schiphol Airport. Then they stay a couple of days in the Netherlands. And then they would like to go to Paris or maybe Spain or to another country. I'm from a business school, and the business school is the faculty of Han University of Applied Science. And the Han University is an abbreviation of two cities. One is Arnhem and the other one is Nijmegen. And so we have our campus in two cities. And by train it's only 10 minutes. So very easy to travel. If we study the number of students from the Han University, it's more or less the same as at BINUS. 25,000, maybe 28,000 at the Han University, but very similar. If you think about the Netherlands, you may think about like traveling from here to here can be through many, many different ways. You can take the highways, or you can take the railways, or you can take maybe domestic transport by boat. But many people, they go by bike. And we have 16 million people. And how many bikes do you think we have? 22. So there are more bikes than people. That's silly, isn't it? Huh? Some of you mentioned the tulips. And in one part of the country, they have lots of these tulips. And if you would like to visit the Netherlands to see the tulips, I think this is the best time. Because now all the tulips, they flourish. This is our campus, the Arnhem Business School. And if you would like to see that campus, maybe it's nice to see a little movie on the website. So now I start that program. So if you visit the website www.han.nl and then international/English, you can find information and also find for 2 cities, Arnhem and Nijmegen, a description and a video tour. So you have a little impression. And it works even from Jakarta. Huh? So in this campus, there are about 12,000 students, and about more than 1,000 come from people all over the world. I guess about 100 people from Indonesia, but also people from other Asian countries, of course. Arnhem Business School has corporations with 80 universities all over the world. Some in China, some in Malaysia, Korea, Japan, but also in Australia, New Zealand, and America, England, and Europe. So in our faculty we have the international students, and we offer an option for students from BINUS to study 1 semester in this building and meet the international students. Every semester, about 200 students from all our partners will visit the Arnhem Business School, and they will meet the students and do the subjects with the students and the international students. And of course we will have an introduction program for the students. We will have the housing at the dormitory for you. And you can meet and find all your friends, and maybe you can prepare the dinners to do together and the lunches. And also the lunches are offered in our canteen. Because in Dutch, we will call ourselves Hogeschool Arnhem en Nijmegen. We have facilities as the same facilities which are offered over here. Internet, wireless. Also, you need your HAN account, and your HAN account is like your student card. This is the only thing you need. And of course, if you have problems, you can go to a help desk for computer problems, and they will help you. We have pigeonholes for students who come from abroad and find their mail if they need to have some mail. We have all kind of places where students can study. This is in Dutch, but also we have everything in Dutch and English. So don't worry, everybody can speak English over here. So in this building you can find many different rooms where people study, and classrooms like this size. Very often we have classes with 25 students and sometimes with a bigger group. So very interactive. Right. Okay, talking about the Netherlands. Of course, many companies are spread all over the countries. So whenever you will do your placement in future, we can help. There are a lot of companies who have relationship with Indonesian companies. And we can be, as an intermediate person, helpful to find a placement. I would advise not to start with a placement first, but it's better to start with your study abroad. Because if you study for 1 semester at the Arnhem Business School, then you will have a good preparation to work in a company after your placement, after your study abroad. Because if you start with the placement, it can be a little bit difficult because you are not prepared, maybe for the culture shock. There will always be a culture shock. Yeah? Right. Is Arnhem a well-known city? I don't know. It has only 150,000 people, which may be 10 times smaller than Jakarta. No? Oh, right. Oh, then it's more than 10 times. So it's a small city. But in some way it's also a famous city. Because in this famous city we also have a University of Arts. And Victor and Rolf are 2 designers who came from that city. And they studied at that School of Arts. And I think they are very well-known designers for N.S. & Maurits, the big chain, but also for other brands. And so you see sometimes, once a year they have like a so-called biennale, which is like a catwalk of fashion, where they introduce all their models. So maybe Arnhem is famous because also of their ballets. Because they have good performers who travel and give performances all over the world in ballets. If we study maybe the food, you can find a lot of Indonesian restaurants. But this is a typical Dutch flavor. It's like smashed vegetables with potatoes. I may have this as a meal a couple of years when I invited my foreign friends and they say, well, please serve me a typical Dutch meal. This is really a Dutch meal. Meatballs, 2 meatballs, and then smashed vegetables. So there are a lot of vegetables in the Netherlands. But also a lot of different restaurants. Italian, French, maybe also Chinese restaurants, of course, and Indonesian. A lot of Indonesian foods, which we like so much. Something about me. I studied at the Bachelor's of Business as well, and later I did my MBA at the University of Hertfordshire. And I'm lecturing several topics related to marketing and management. And I'm here also because of my task for study abroad. Because we have partners in China, Indonesia, Korea, Taiwan, Thailand. And I supervise my students with their graduation assignments. So I'm very much involved with working with the international students and helping them with their career, their future career in business, international business. And why would international business